because they didn't have hardly any taxes taken out of their check. And they'd be like, I say, you made X amount of dollars, this many thousands of dollars, and you paid under $1,000 in taxes all year. I said, ooh. I said, we got to fix this. I said, we got to make it whereas you can survive and you will owe them so much. Because, guys, you have to remember something. Not only do you get a penalty for late filing, but you get interest daily. Daily interest on the money you owe. You know, and then just go on a payment plan. If you just can afford, sometimes they'll take $50 a month. It may take you forever to pay it, but you're paying something. And then you work with somebody like myself or anybody else or your tax person, and you make it whereas you get everything that you can get back. So once you get a refund, the IRS going to take that, and it's okay. They're going to subtract it from what you owe. So that's going to drop you down some more. You know, so don't be late filing. Let's file so we can get some money back. And let's get a small business. Let's get something where, you know, you might see something that you like to do, you know, that you can do and make it a business. And then you get, you know what? We're talking like, I'm doing this now. This is part of my business. So what I'm using? We're using the Wi-Fi. We're using my computer. People are using their cell phones. I'm in this nice chair, right? This is a business write-off. IRS paid for this chair. IRS paid for this computer. Hey,
the space in the room that you're using?
Yes. So I get to write off my space that I'm using for my business, which means that whether I rent or have a mortgage, then part of that goes in it. So what I do for my clients, I'll look up their address, I'll get the square footage, I'll talk to them, say, okay, describe to me what you're using, the footage. I put it on there, and a portion, it could be 30%, 40%, 20%, it doesn't matter. A portion of it counts for your utilities, your Wi-Fi, your cell phone. Now, my cell phone, every time I'm on the phone, I'm talking my econ, I'm talking taxes. So I'm going to pay for my cell phone everything. You know, my Bluetooth, I use that. Okay. My adapters, my cords, all of that. People forget about theirs. My mouse for my computer. Hey, guys, we're leaving money on the table. Those of you that's listening that have a business or are going to play this later, quit leaving money on the table. It's yours because you earned it. You know, so keyboard. You need a keyboard. You know, just pay attention. Take notes. And one thing, don't forget anything. The IRS will fine you $10,000. So a lot of people are giving back their cars, giving back, writing off credit cards and stuff like that. Well, you can make a deal with whoever you owe, okay? You can make a deal with the credit company and say, okay, so ma'am, you owe $23,540. We'll take $15,000. You say, no, I can only give you 12. And they say, well, let me ask my supervisor. And they go to the supervisor, you know what it is. They say, okay, we'll take 12. Well, okay, they took 12, but you owe 25. Don't think that $13,000 something dollars went away. It is income. You will receive a 1099-C.
Wow.
Do not ignore anything 1099. You will receive a 1099-C, especially if you let a car go back. Okay, I'm going to tell you about my brother in the car. But anyway, you'll receive a 1099-C. Pay attention. Give it to your tax person. I had one client that received 4 or 5 of them, right? So first she finally sent me one. And she said, I was going to ignore this. I said, no, you can't ignore this. So then a few weeks later, I got 2 more. And then I said, oh my gosh. I said, do you understand that this was a $10,000 fine? So if you ignore those 1099-Cs and don't give them to your tax person, that's a $10,000 fine. IRS feels that you're hiding income. And I don't care if it's $2,000. They will still fine you $10,000 because they feel that you're hiding income. So give your tax person all your documents. Even things that you think ain't important, just give it to them. You know, they'll decide. At least I do. You know, that's the tax person out there. I decide. You know, I take a lot of time with my tax clients, and they'll tell you. You know, that's why I get so many referrals, because my clients are so pleased and they're so trustful, you know, especially when they have a family member that's really stressed. They say, oh, let me give you Kim's number. Stop. Just call Kim. She'll help you. And I do, you know, and that's why I do taxes all year. and it's, you know, it's okay because I'm going to take care of the clients. You know what I'm saying? And I feel good after I finish. Those 2 clients that had 4 years of taxes, I hated to tell them they forfeited, but I'm glad they're back on track. You know, you're back on track now. And so anybody out there that haven't done 21, you got to July. I have a girlfriend, a very close friend. I said, where you at with your taxes? Did you do 21 yet? So it's like, don't give them money. Don't give them money. You know, we need the money. We got, invest that. You know, that $8,000 to $6,000. If that was sitting in a 620, if that was sitting in some kind of investment account, you know how much money they would have made? You know, we've been making money, you know, the stock.
They'd have some nice capital gains. One thing I do like that you said, and as you all are tuning in on today, I want you all to write this in the comment section. Quit leaving money on the table. Just type it in. Quit leaving money on the table. All those things that Kim named that you use for your business, whether it's the chair you sit in, whether it's the laptop that you bought for your business. I don't care if you're making t-shirts or if you're mowing lawns, cutting grass, the lawnmower you use, the gas you put in that machine, if it's the pens and the pencils and the paper that you're using to print off your documents and everything, you need to keep log of that stuff. You need to have those receipts and give that stuff to your tax preparer, whatever app or device that you need to use to keep track of that stuff. Because you all have to remember this. Sometimes throughout the year, you can have a receipt in January and that thing can fade out by the time November gets here. And now you can't read what that was. So sometimes when you use apps or digital devices, it will help preserve your information and content. So you all make sure that you quit leaving money on the table. And I like the other advice that you gave, Kim, about if you owe the IRS, if you have a balance, get on a payment plan. Yes, they are definitely charging you interest on that balance. We have Posh Lifestyle said quit leaving money on the table in our chat section. But yes, get on a payment plan. And like you mentioned, they will give you options, on how much you can pay a month. They'll put their options on there, and then you can select your option. You may not feel comfortable, so you can pick a minimum amount, monthly amount that you can pay. And they have an option where you can try to negotiate, how much you want to pay off. Say if you can't afford to pay that full amount, maybe you can negotiate to kind of close that out. And it's important that we do payments, like you mentioned, because it can also affect your debt to income ratio. So sometimes people are trying to buy a house, and if your monthly payment on those taxes are $500, $600 a month, and you didn't accept a smaller amount, it can affect your debt to income ratio with being able to make certain purchases when you're trying to finance some things. So I think that's another great point that you mentioned. And what I would tell some people is pick a minimum amount to make monthly payments so you don't affect your DTI. But if you can afford to pay more every month, then just pay more, but make sure you keep your financials looking solid so that you can still make moves out here in the financial world. And so as we talk about taxes today with Kim, I'm going to open it up for you, Kim. Like if there's something else you want to discuss or tell people about about taxes and some other, whether it's ideas for them or just information that people need to know, if there's any new tax rules or tax laws that have come up or maybe on the horizon, I want to open it up to give you space to talk about that, and also where people can find you and connect with you if they have more questions and need more information.
Okay. So what I've come across lately a lot with a lot of the new clients, like I say, mine's word of mouth basically is, that's how my clientele has grown. So I have a lot of people that are 1099 employees, okay? And they're not paying taxes at all, but they're making lots of money. So now they're in the part where they owe lots of money to the IRS because they haven't paid anything, and they're not keeping track of, because they're 1099, they still got to keep a track of what you're using to run your business, and they're not really, they just working and making the money, right? So one thing I slow them down and I say, okay, what is it? What do you use to run your business? What do you need, to run your business? Because I have a lot of medical people, nurses and stuff like that. So I make sure that they're, keeping up with what they're using to run their business. Like I talked about before, their vehicle, also their office, and so we can try to get that down. But I also have them on quarterly payments. Yeah. So when you have a business and you're not paying taxes, you can do quarterly, and that'll help you. Or if you even paid a lot of money last year, you're like, dang, I owe the IRS all of this. Well, let me put some money in now because nothing has changed in my lifestyle. So always take a look at your lifestyle. So if because remember, people get raises, so you might have made X amount last year, but you might make 10,000 more. And if you owed last year, guess what you're gonna owe this year? And one other thing I want to say is, like I said, April 15th means nothing to you if you don't owe. But if you owe, and I have people all the time, put me in for an extension. And now IRS make us do real extension paperwork. So it takes, I have to charge my people for extensions now because you have to tell them, all of this different stuff you have to fill out. And I keep telling my people, the ones that don't use, I said, did you owe last year or the year before? They're like, no, but put me for an extension. I'm like, okay. Because if nothing changed and you didn't know before, you're going to get a refund next year, right? But it's okay. I just try to calm them down. I just do their extension. But those that make a lot of money, got all these businesses and haven't paid, they ask for an extension, but the extension is just to file your paperwork. So it really ain't an extension, because if you owe, you're supposed to pay that day.
Yeah.
Well, you're supposed to pay April 15th, because if you don't, which a lot of people don't, then you get a big fee penalty and lots of interest. Lots of interest you have to pay. So these people are the ones I got paying now. So the first payment was January 15th. So it's every 4 months. On the 15th, every 4 months. And the IRS really wasn't set up for it this year for some reason, because we had to use last year's forms. But it don't matter. The money went. As long as they got the money to pay ahead of time for this person, because they owed last year. So get your paperwork together. If you know you're gonna owe, don't get an extension. Or start putting the money aside. So a lot of people are putting money aside. They have 1099 jobs. They're putting the money aside so they'll be ready, because they're not paying no taxes at all. And it's okay, because when you get paid, you start spending, and the more you have, it really is the more you spend, so we really do need to try to budget. We need to budget. We need to know what we got coming in and know what's going out. Okay, so that we won't get in these situations. But you can always get a business. I mean, there is so many advantages right now to getting a business, especially right now. And there's so many different opportunities out there. And I talked about keeping track. So like our cash flow manager, it's like $12 a month. But guess what? Uncle Sam pays that because that's part of your business. And that receipt. So like we take pictures daily of our receipts, because years ago, they started doing that where the ink went away because Walmart. Remember when Walmart, you can keep your stuff for a year and take it back to Walmart with a receipt. So then they changed what they was doing the receipts on, and it started disappearing, because then you might you take it back, but you can't read that receipt. So it started like that, because I know people as a retailer was doing working at Walmarts and stuff, and that's when they changed, whereas the ink didn't last long on those receipts.
That's funny. Save Walmart some money.
One time you can take your stuff back to Walmart for up to a year. That's at one time they stopped that because people take stuff back up. Do y'all remember when the Walmart return line was so long? It was just crazy, because people was always they take back anything. They used to just take back anything, and people took advantage. So that's what things. So that's why I just want people to pay attention to tax season. Another thing that you get is your 1095s. So there's a 1095 A, B, and C, and that's your medical. Okay, so it'll come in an envelope that say important tax document. Don't get rid of the envelope. Put it in the folder. If you don't want to write, put it in the folder. Put mark tax information. and put your stuff in a folder. Because I have a client from 2 years ago that we're still trying to get that 1095 because IRS kept kicking the taxes, rejecting the taxes because they got a 1095, and I have to put that information on the tax form. Some 1095s you don't have to worry about, but 1095A is like marketplace or something, right? And so they won't take your tax return without that information. And people move. So, people move a lot. So you just make sure you just take your documents and put them all together. Put all your documents in a container, so that you have everything. Because she's getting a refund, but I can't do it until we get that 1095. And it's so hard to get that 1095 back. It's also a lot of clients don't have their W-2s, 1099s, which, okay, IRS has a transcript. You can get one other thing. After I finish this, IRS has transcripts. So IRS that's why they can find you $10,000, because they get all the 1099s on anything associated with your social security number or your EIN. The IRS has it. So you can access it with an IRS account. And everybody needs an IRS.gov account. Okay, it's called ID Me. So you need your ID, your driver's license, or some form of ID, and you have to upload it. Now, this is not a real easy process, but you hang in there, you get it done. Okay, so as long as you have an account, you can get in and see all of your stuff. You can see how much you owe.
Yeah.
You can see all your transcripts, all the taxes you filed. So if you think you didn't file a year, you can go in there and say, oh, shoot, I didn't file that year. Then you can file that year. Okay. But the transcripts they're good, but they're not good. To protect you, the IRS only puts the last 4 digits of that EIN on that transcript. So it's not a duplicate W-2 or 1099. It's like they put it in a computer, a database, and it spits out what they needed to spit out. Okay. They're protecting you so they don't have your whole socials. Your whole social's not in there, and the whole EIN is not in there. So right now, one of my clients is trying to find out who she worked for had a W-2 because she don't remember. Only part of the EIN is in there. Part of the company that it is in there. I can always tell when somebody did Lyft and all of that because it says block. It says block, and that means that it's square, and they work for those people. So those I can do. I can recreate those, but the other ones I can't. And when you're doing taxes, you have to have the whole EIN. Every company, whoever you work for, the government has their own EINs. Walmart has theirs. Rite Aid has theirs. Everybody has an EIN. Domino's, and you have to have it. And so I do have clients that's trying to find their EINs, and there's not a database that gives you these EINs. So I can't do anything without the EINs. Always make sure you keep up with your documents, because I can't file your taxes without them, and nobody else can too. They have to have the whole thing. I got quite a few people trying to figure out what they did so that they can, know what it is, because you don't always keep track. Some people work 3 or 4 jobs, in a year, and people move around, so one thing I want to stress, get an IRS account. It's just go to irs.gov/account, and it shows you step by step what you have to do, and then if you've had one and you forgot your password, but the email address, sometimes people have 2 and 3 email addresses, so you just try each one of them, right? And then they'll ask for your password. If you need to reset your password, then they'll ask you a bunch of things in order to make sure it's you. And that's just to protect you. You'd be like, oh, goodness gracious. But it's to protect you, because a lot of people are getting our identities. Identity theft is live.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah.
It's live. You know what I'm saying? So
it's horrible.
These things is to protect you, but then it hampers you too. So that means you have to do your due diligence and make sure you keep up with your stuff. Go ahead.
One thing I'll say that you're saying that is powerful, especially right now towards the end of January, everyone should be seeing tax information flooding their mailbox right now, especially this past week. a lot of what Kim is talking about, you all should be seeing come in the mailbox, 1095s, 1098s, all of that information. Do not take your mail right now and sit it off to the side somewhere. I know some of you don't want to see some of those bills right now. It's the beginning of the year. You haven't got your refund yet. I need you to go sift through that mail. I need you to go grab those envelopes and make sure. And some of them will say something about tax in front of them. Get that, get you a designated folder and start putting that stuff in there now. Please do it so you're not looking for that stuff at the last minute. That one envelope might save you $500 or $1,000. And Kim, I actually have a question on here, very interesting question. And I'm not sure how this would work. DeMarco says, I currently live in my RV. Is there a way to claim it on my taxes as my office?
Yes. Yeah, so the portion of your RV that you use for your office is the portion that you're going to claim. Just like I have a relative that lives on a boat. But that's their house. So you get the right part of the boat off. Yes, you can. Yes.
So if he actually has like let's say he's still paying on the RV. Mm-hmm. Whatever portion of that RV he's using in his office, is he potentially able to write that same percentage or portion of that monthly payment off as well?
Yes. So what you do is you have to know the size of your RV, just like you know the size of your house. Okay, you know how many square feet, right? And then you measure what you're using, and it may be just a small amount, but it doesn't matter. You measure what you're using, and then what they do is we have a 8996. I think that's what business use of home. Okay, that's the form it goes on. A lot of taxpayers don't use that, but I use that. And then there's columns that you put the stuff in for your office use. So you're going to put in how much your mortgage is, what really your interest goes in there, the taxes you pay. But if you rent it, then you put how much your rent is, and your utilities, any extra expenses, alarms. People forget, alarms are write-offs when you have a business, warranties, that you have warranties on your house, on your stuff in your house, mm-hmm. That's also write-off. People get these different things, they count. They count, So yes. So yes, to answer your question, yes. And like I said, we'll put my stuff in there and you can, ring me up and I'll explain it to you further, Mr. Johnson, if need be. Okay.
Awesome. Definitely good question, DeMarco Johnson. And as you all are listening in on today, although I think we probably got about maybe 5 more minutes, I don't want to take up a whole lot of Kim's time today. I told her from 9 to 10. So I want to keep my word so that I can have her back again. And she was up all night doing people's taxes. And so I do want to give her free time to continue to either get her rest or go do some more taxes. And some of you that will hit her up, I do want to cover 1 or 2 more things. You did mention to me about a book that you wrote. And I do see a comment here. Nitra Perry, Nitra teacher, baker, party maker says, this is so good. And also DeMarco told you, he said, thank you, I will. So tell me a little bit about this book, Kim.
Okay, so it's a collaboration. It's called The Path to Financial Independence. So these are strategies for eliminate debt and growing wealth. So yeah, that's the book. And so my section is tax planning and optimization, how to optimize on what you have already. So like bonus time right now for federal relief. So what I did, and what a few of my business partners, we talked, and so what I did is increased what I was giving to my 401k, because ours, which is a good thing and a bad thing, is not taxed now, but it's taxed after I retire. So if I increase that means more money went there, and that means that was less that they can tax, because you always remember, the more you make, the more they take. So at one time, we used to have 2 separate checks. At bonus time, we get a separate check. So, but then they started rolling it into our pay, and that meant that we hardly got anything. So you might get $1,000 bonus, but you end up with $300. You know what I'm saying? Because they taxed it more.
Yeah.
So what I did is I added. So that's a strategy. So, you know, and that's what my business is, strategies, financial strategies and services. I service you and I help you with financial strategies. So that's what I did. I increased that, you know, and I also, you know, this also talks about optimizing, you know, what you're doing with your money, how you're going to invest it, and what the breakdown is. So like you mentioned earlier, Simon, that you know that you talked about the married filing jointly. Well, it was $27,700. Now it's $29,200. So that was an increase of $1,500 last year. So yes. So that did increase. So so this is what the book is about. I tell a little bit about myself also in here, and then all other things are in here. Credit score, credit report, so important. So we had a bunch of us that just have what we specialize in. We wrote about it. The mentality required to become a successful business owner. So it's a lot of different. It was about 10 of us that collaborated together and wrote a book. So if you're interested, and anybody that was on the call that's interested will get a discount on purchasing the book today. So just let me know that you were on here and that you listened, whether it's today or another day, and you'll get a discount on purchasing that book.
Nice. So I definitely want a copy of that book. So I'm going to take advantage of my discount too, because I'm on. And if they're interested in that book, how can they connect or reach out or purchase that book?
Okay, so you're gonna reach out to me in chat. Can I put it in the chat? Or
yes, you can. Take your time and put it in the chat.
Let me find the chat.
Take your time. While you put that in the chat, I want to let people know that are listening in on today, we have been talking about taxes. We know it is tax season for Kim, my guest on today, Kim Hampton, who helps people out with taxes. For her, it's tax season all the time. This is her business. This is what she does. And we're here live talking with Kim Hampton about taxes on today on Coach Steele's Finance Training. And if you are not subscribed to my YouTube channel yet, make sure you go and subscribe to Coach Steele's Finance Training. It takes about 3 to 5 seconds. Won't take you long at all. And I will definitely appreciate the support as our team is continue to grow here with Coach Steele's Finance Training. I am live on YouTube as well, so you're always more than welcome to join the YouTube community as well on Coach Steele's Finance Training, the Facebook community on Coach Steele's Finance Training. So make sure you follow me on Facebook as well. Throughout the month and throughout the week, what I usually do is I'll go live at least once on Saturdays at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time Zone. And then at least once throughout the week, I will post a video on the YouTube channel talking about something in regards to financial literacy. Last week, the video I posted was about cash on cash return. And that may work for some of my investors or real estate investors who want to understand better the thought or how cash on cash return works and how to add it up, how to calculate what your cash on cash return is on your investments. And so once again, we are here live with Kim Hampton talking about taxes. It is tax season. This is the best time for a lot of people right now to figure out what they need to do to become better with preparing your taxes. To get that information where it needs to be. Actually, let's see. Oh, this is perfect, Kim. So what I'll do is I will transition that information over to the group. This is great. You know what? But usually when I do it this way, it will only show up
So what do I need
on the YouTube. Okay, so it'll show up on the YouTube channel. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to send it over to the Facebook group as well. So, yes. So it is posted. Everybody who's listening in, Kim Hampton's information is posted on the YouTube channel. And actually, boom, I can just share right there as well. So if you're tuning in, you can see it. Just took me a little while. Y'all know sometimes my technology skills aren't the best in the world. But you can see it right there if you're listening in on Facebook as well. You see it right there, Kim Hampton. 216-798-21 taxassist904@gmail.com. And that book is The Path to Financial Success, $25 minus your 10% discount if you are listening in on today. So that is definitely a blessing. So definitely reach out to Kim to get that book, The Path to Financial Success. You all know in Coach Steele's Finance Training, we love talking about things in regards to financial literacy. We have a few more minutes. So if you do have another tax question, make sure you type it in the chat very soon. But Kim, I definitely appreciate you taking time out today to talk to us about taxes, to talk to us about financial literacy. And as of right now, your current business is, you have two, is it just two businesses right now? I don't want to say just two. One is enough.
Well,
but
I also own property. So what I'm doing, and you guys may be interested in, I'm putting my property in a trust. Okay, all my property goes into a trust. So when I leave here, there will be no probate. My property be left to my grandkids, and it'll be in the trust. So yes, so I have rental property. Yes.
Okay.
Property.
Nice.
My econ. I've been with my econ for about 14 years. Mm-hmm. And my econ is that financial success company. And I'm telling you, it helps you so much. It's just, it teaches you so much. It's just, and what we do is we have so many people that also teach. We share so much. I've learned so much, guys, from my econ, and we're all givers. We give our knowledge, to each other, because we all want to succeed. That's financial success company. We want to succeed, guys. We're looking for financial growth. It's time for us to rise up, and that's what we're doing. And Coach Steele, I have to get with you because you were talking about that cash on cash, and I was like, I was right, but I ain't get with you because, it's time, guys. It's time. There's nothing to stop you from being financially successful. Nothing at all. We have the tools. You just got to reach out and use them. No procrastination this year. 25, they say we're thriving to survive in 25. So, hey, let's do it. Let's do it together. Like I say, you may have a tax preparer, and it's okay. If you have questions, ask me. I will make sure you have the best knowledge. You know what you're doing. I just did an amendment for somebody that did that. During COVID, IRS said, "Oh, if you have your own business, you can get so many days sick leave paid for." Oh my goodness! And people were doing crazy returns trying to get money back from the IRS. I had to do an amendment for one of my clients that IRS was so upset with that return, and I could see why. Whoever did that tax return really did not do their due diligence. And it's important that you do your due diligence because you're gonna help your client. You don't want them to be in trouble. IRS ain't no joke. They can be your friend, but they ain't no joke. Just do your stuff, do your taxes, and it is, and if you owe, it's okay. I mean, to me, it's just a bill. It's another bill, but don't ignore it because it becomes a bigger bill. Okay, so just make sure that whoever you have, that they're doing the best for you. That's important. That's what I say. It doesn't matter who you have. Just and call me. I'll help you as much as I can. Make sure you're getting the best service that you deserve.
Awesome. Powerful information on today, Kim. Once again, I definitely appreciate you taking time out to talk to our community, or what I call our team here with Coach Steele's Finance Training, talking about taxes. And we'll definitely have to reconnect on a few other things as well. I love real estate. I love talking about real estate. I have a few rental properties myself as well, and a few of my listeners do. So definitely we'll reconnect and continue to have you a part of our team with giving and sharing information. I love towards the end how you said for everyone to open up. It's like wake up and rise up. Those were your words, rise up. We do not have to stay in a sunken place when it comes to finances. There's too many people and there's too much information out here for us to be able to now come together and grow together, whatever level you're at. There's someone that's always willing to reach down and help pull you up and get you to a better place. So once again, thank you for coming on. And before we part, even though you just did, I just want to make sure and be respectful. Do you have any last words or anything else you would like to say?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
All right. Once again, Coach Steele.
Wonderful day.
Yes. Once again, this is Coach Steele's Finance Training. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in on today. And let me make sure I didn't forget anything. And we are going to be out of here. Thank you. Have a blessed day.